Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today's video needs a few minutes of theory crafting before we go into the actual gameplay. And if you will skip this, I probably will likely provide you with a timestamp to just skip the theory crafting. You will look at gameplay that looks very trollish, that looks like a lot of derp fun. But there is actually method to the madness, and this is where the first few minutes of this video in the hangar will actually clear up things. The video title is God Mode Skill Matters. That is not down to what you can do as a tanker if you know the maps and the tanks inside out and you're perfect at pixel hunting. No, what I am talking about is two epic awards that you can get, that in theory everybody can get, and will gain you an extra 20 to 40,000 civil lines per battle, regardless if you lose or win, which is especially attractive for high tier tanks since they are so extra expensive. The prices to buy them, put them into crew, buy the expert qualification, the repair costs, the ammunition expenses, you name it, to then actually pay for an entire lineup is expensive. And the tip that I'm about to give you is not trying to sell you anything and to then buy booze off the money that I made. No, this tip is for free. This tip is also not requiring any additional stuff because you most likely have it. And it's not just if you have here the pride of your grind, the end of the line main battle tank, in the Germans case the Leopard 2A5, but it actually accounts for every nation in the game. And I made it work with just a few hours of playing with actually 7 out of the 9 nations, so I thought, you know, that'll do for the video. So again, please give me a few minutes here to explain this. If you kill a tank that is 5 ranks higher than the tank that you are using, that you killed it with, then you get the God Mode award. If you then have no premium account, you're a free-to-play player, that gets you, regardless of the tank that you played, a further additional 20,000 civil lines. If you have a premium account, that's 50% extra civil lines, so it's 30,000 civil lines with one shot. And that is also the playstyle. And you have to use 2 tanks. The high tier tank, Leopard 2A5, or your premium Leopard A1A1, or whatever you played. And eventually, most likely, you will succumb to enemy fire. However, then a lot of people have no backup tanks because they think, oh, you know, I cannot use my low tier tanks to go toe to toe with enemy main battle tanks. But if you're a cold-blooded warrior, if you are really confident in your skill, in your position finding, and you have a lot of patience, then you can make it work. And it's not black magic. In fact, the best battle rating to fight in is 9.3, 9.0. Why? Because before that, the tanks get an ever-increasing amount of raw steel thickness armor, with the peak being, for example, the Soviet tanks with the side plating of an IS-3 and IS-4, or in the Germans case, you know, the Maus and E-100, and even they can succumb to your low tier gunfire. And it is doable with, for example, the Pak Puma, which is the obvious choice. But it's not just this tank. I made it work, as you will see later on, with the M10, with even the Su-57, which is a fun little machine, the Cromwell 1, and also the Chia long gun, obviously, but also here the LVT A4 2, and for France I used the MX-13 M24. So I think that's enough theory crafting. Let's hop into battle and let's see how that looks and what my thought process behind is. So here we are, and I start here with some low tier stuff, and we will have some fun, yeah, for a change. And it's so predictable at those battle ratings that some new premium tank owners are a bit over ambitious and still have to learn how to get their machines work properly. Situational awareness overcomes technology to a certain degree. And also with the tanks, you can still capture. You don't get as much as you would get with obviously a high tier premium tank, but it still works. That was an unfortunate hit, and I was a bit overexcited. So the next shot it will do. Nice. And then we have another god mode. But that's not all, because there is an overlap between the two skills. So if you kill two tanks in a row that are 5 ranks higher, yes, you also get the Skill Matters Award. And that is also 7.5k civilians. So let's have a quick look at the post-battle results. So for 2 kills, 1 cap, winning the game with a premium account, but only a low tier tank, is 56,000 civilians. This is meant just a pure representation as what you get on top of what you would achieve then with your first spawn. It was just, here for the post-battle results that you can see where I'm going. That's like 39,000 civilians just from the awards and just being in the middle of the pack. So let's have a look at the Cromwell, because that is always entertaining. And obviously the first target of choice is Leopard A1A1. And that was an easy one-shot. God mode. And I think there is nothing more entertaining than to club some premium wearaboos, right? That was a bad shot actually. And that was really budget. So that is then a little bit what you have as a trade-off with the British with no APHE. But I get him here. And I should have smoked up, because seconds later I think to myself, ooh, a third one. Oh, but it doesn't work. But did you see, I only got the God Mode award once. You only can get it once. Now a further thing here to know is that I think to myself that this award, the God Mode and the Skill Matters, can be obtained for every player once per battle in theory, whereas the more rare awards like Heavy Metal Hero and Survivor can only be obtained once per game for one player between the two teams. So they just are more rare and are also only, quote unquote, only giving you 7.5k. Now here, this scene was really entertaining. I killed the T-62, I got the Skill Matters, no God Mode though, and I got hit twice. So that is in the French Premium, the MX-13 M24. I move on the one track, and now I saw where the shell was coming from, and I survived it. So I think to myself, okay, let's repair. That is not part here of the actual God Mode or Skill Matters, but it's another case of no good deed gets unpunished. So I'm really thanking here that BMP1 that helps me repairing and lets me survive before the smoke clears. But then before I can warn him, he goes off in the direction where the shot came from, and yeah, there you could see it in the kill messages. He succumbed to a T-55M1. Let's stay with the Russians for a moment, because this low tier tank is so much fun. A half track with a high velocity gun? Yes, please. Oh boy, APHE BC magic. And that was a warrior, that was God Mode. And this is a position that is dangerous if you are in any tank, and even at long range you can blap an MX-50 Foch, you know. And if you then have the range, you can just blap them over and over again. Sadly, no God Strike can be obtained multiple times per battle, because then I would be rich. But again, just because it's higher tier doesn't mean that the people really know what they're talking about. The OA-40 here, he doesn't turn with his hull, maybe he's tracked, but I get him first before I take care of this Leopard 1. And again, they are quote-unquote only rank 5, so I only get Skill Matters here, but it was just a nice demonstration in this battle, and I'm not done yet, because that was the first double strike. And that is the quote-unquote bad 75mm that you can find on the first Shermans, you know, with 104mm of penetration. But because the maximum of the armor is somewhere between 6.7 and 7.7 for side plating. Think about the mouse, D100, T95, and also the IS3 and IS4. You still can make it work, and high tier players sometimes are really confused with where they get shot from. And again, a beautiful side shot. And this APHE obviously overcomes the drawback of that was actually below the turret, believe it or not. That was close. So APHE or any sort of AP round with high explosive filler overcomes the drawback of solid shot. And would you look at this? That was with only skill matters. But obviously we need to take it to the maximum. We need to use the king of the high tier menace dubs. And yeah, that was a T-72B3, you know, one of the best Soviet main battle tanks. And his gun is knocked out. Oh, what a pity. So we set him on fire, pin him in place, and we have all the time in the world to then just, yeah, deal with him. And that shot was a bit hasty. It was absorbed then eventually by the armor. But he can't do anything. He doesn't have a heavy machine gun anymore, and that is God mode. World War II versus Cold War. World War II strikes back. Could be a Star Wars episode. Anyway, so I obviously have to thank the comrade for his service. That is a bit, okay, that was mean, but I meant it. Yeah. It's actually fun, you know, and this is meant as a backup spawn, because if you kill the tanks, if you go to places, you know, and you one-shot the tank, you know, the tanks are dead. It doesn't really matter for them what killed them, but that they got killed. And that guy comes for revenge. But revenge only has to be served cold. And this guy comes in hot. And the glorious thing is, by him trying to get the revenge, he not just awarded me with the God mode, but also the skill matters. For 3 kills, I got then nearly 50,000 silver lines. And you can do this as well in your high tank lineup. Think about a tank with a reasonable gun that you like, and then you can make it work. And to be honest, that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like, give it, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields of War Thunder.